everybody. So today I'm going to talk some more about the Galactic Center. This is kind of a hodgepodge of different things. Something that I've been meaning to touch on, but I don't think that I have already. And something else that just I kind of noticed. But I want to start out by saying that I am in no way, shape, or form an expert when it comes to the Galactic Center. I have a lot of astrological knowledge, but this is purely theory. The Galactic Center stuff is purely theory, ideas, just fucking with astrology, tossing shit out there, right? So, yeah, I just want to make it clear I'm not an expert in this area, this particular area. I'm learning just like everybody else. So I guess we'll start first with what I wanted to mention about conjunctions to the Galactic Center. They have been kind of mine and Natalie's focus for the most part so far. But I wanted to mention something about that I don't think that I've touched on before, and that's, okay, so you have a planet conjunct the Galactic Center, or you have multiple planets conjunct the Galactic Center. I know a lot of the people that have filled out the questionnaire, the Galactic Center questionnaire, and again, thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. I really appreciate it. We both really appreciate it. And if you want to be a part of the research, if you want to join in, it's never too late. Hit us up and we'll send you the questionnaire if you want to join. But a lot of the people that have done these questionnaires, that have filled this out, you know, they'll have like sorry, let me put that down. They'll have like I've noticed a lot of like Uranus and Saturn, and Uranus and Saturn are two that I've noticed a lot of people have conjunct the Galactic Center because they've got that conjunct in their chart, and it happens to be, you know, near the Galactic Center. So you need to look at this also by dispositions, right? Dispositions of the house cusps. So let's say you have Uranus and Saturn conjunct the Galactic Center. You need to be looking at the house cusps in your chart that have Capricorn and Aquarius on the cusp. Because those houses, those areas of life will bend to the Galactic Center. Meaning, or how I would think this would manifest, my theory about this manifesting would be, those houses are also going to get changed a little bit, since that house will bend to the GC, and that's what the GC does. It it changes, it electrifies, it transforms, it does that. So you need to be also looking at the house cusp that's planetary ruler is conjunct the GC. Like, okay, in my case, I've got Venus and Uranus about a degree from the Galactic Center. So I would be looking at the house cusps I would be looking for the house cusp with Aquarius and with Taurus and with Libra, since Venus rules Taurus and Libra, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. In my case, that is the 3rd, the 6th, and the 11th. So that in theory might make those areas of my life a little different or changed than how they might normally function if Venus and Uranus were not conjunct the Galactic Center. I would play around with that in your own natal chart and see if that theme fits, or if those house cusps feel like they are charged or electrified somehow. Because the galactic center, I know I mentioned before, the galactic center it's also Plutonian. It also feels Plutonian, but it feels very, very Uranian to me. It really does. It kind of, to me, and this is regardless of a planet like Uranus being conjunct the galactic center, but there is something very Uranian about the galactic center, kind of like in the way that retrograde planets kind of point to Uranus too. There's something along those lines, though it feels even more lit up with the galactic center. But I would definitely look at those house cusps. Yeah, if you have conjunctions to the galactic center, I would definitely look at where the sign, what house cusp that sign falls on, or that planet. I totally butchered that. You know what I mean. I butchered how I was going to say that. Yeah, if you have, I don't know, if you've got the moon conjunct the galactic center, look at where Cancer, what house cusp Cancer is on. Definitely look into that and see if the GC themes fit in those houses as well. I think they might. I find that they do. For me personally, I find that they do. If I really think about it, I find that they do. In some kind of way. So definitely look into that. Now, I know some of y'all don't use the outer planets. Some of y'all don't use Uranus and Neptune and Pluto as planetary rulers. And that's fine. You don't have to. But I will say this, if you have a planet, if you've got, say, Neptune conjunct the galactic center, I realize you wouldn't, if you're using traditional rulership, you wouldn't think that Pisces, you wouldn't consider Pisces as being ruled by Neptune. But in this case, for the galactic center, for this specific case, I might look at the house cusp that that Pisces is on, and see if that galactic center theme fits. I'm not trying to convert you to using modern rulership. I'm not. But in this specific case, I would see if it fits. Just in this specific case. If you're at all interested in this kind of research, in this specific case, I might see if it fits for you. It may or may not. But yeah, in this specific case, I would play around with it. Again, not trying to convert you to using modern rulership or using both. If you are totally comfortable using traditional, you can totally not do what I'm suggesting. That's fine too. But if you are interested in this and you have Uranus or Neptune or Pluto conjunct it, I would take a look at the house cusp that is, Scorpio, Pisces, Aquarius, and see if that galactic center theme in some way kind of fits. Another thing I wanted to bring up is, okay, so, like doing research and stuff on the galactic center, I've seen it mentioned by different people. Can't remember exactly who right now, but I've seen it mentioned by different people that the place opposite the galactic center is like, you can think of it as like where you bring the stuff from the galactic center down to Earth, kind of. That's a That's not exactly how I've seen this said, but that's kind of how I infer what they were saying. I can see that train of thought. I can see where they're going with that. But scientifically, in the sky, and I know I've talked about this before, the galactic anti-center is actually opposite the galactic center, not Earth. So this is where I want to, okay, Earth, I wrote this down. Earth and the sun are roughly 2/3 of the way from the galactic center. It's actually, Earth is closer to the galactic anti-center than it is to the galactic center. So I got to thinking about this, and there's no Earth, right, in the natal chart. There's not an Earth placement. So I was thinking about this. How does one bring galactic center shit down to Earth, right? How would one best do that? This is all theory, by the way. Totally all theory, okay? Just something to play with. But if the galactic center is 2/3 of the way from Earth in the sky, galactic anti-center is 1/3 of the way, you know, or closer to it, then perhaps where we actually bring galactic center shit down to Earth is at that point in the chart. You'd have to run some numbers and shit, and I have an idea of how to do this in my head. I'd have to actually put pen to paper and figure that out. But perhaps the place where you actually bring the stuff from the galactic center down to Earth has to do with that 2/3 and that 1/3 point. That's kind of where my mind is at right now. Now, at first I was thinking perhaps it's the square. If you've got a planet square, the galactic center, maybe that's where you bring it down to Earth. But then I looked it up and I realized that, you know, the Earth is not midway from the galactic center and the galactic anti-center. It is closer to the anti-center. So it's not really a midpoint thing, right? Like the midpoint between the two, which is what a square would be, a square aspect would be. But you'd want to, I would think, calculate where that 2/3 place is, or 1/3 place from the anti-center. See if you have anything there. See if you have any planets there. If I figure out exactly how to do this, I'll put it in the description. It might not be right when I post this video, but at some point I am curious about this because I have some ideas about how one would figure this out. But that point in the chart, I would think if you've got a planet there, it might be a way for you to bring the galactic center stuff down to Earth. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily the planet Earth, and I'm not trying to say that there's like an Earth in the natal chart or anything. I'm just thinking about it like this is how you would bring it down to Earth, is at that point. That might actually be how and where, depending on, you know, sign and house, how you bring this stuff down to Earth the best, or the clearest, perhaps. And even maybe being able to, because there is something blinding about the galactic anti-center, right? It's very bright. So perhaps it's even how you are able to see, more easily see, because I do have this theory that the anti-center, it's harder to see things there because it is so bright. So if you've got planets conjunct the galactic anti-center or opposite the galactic center, perhaps this point that I'm talking about, this 1/3 and 2/3 point, perhaps this is where you're able to see that as well. The stuff opposite the galactic center, how you're able to see it better. Just some ideas, just some things to play with. just some thoughts. Anyway, I'm going to get going because this was a little longer than I thought it was going to be. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Let's Fuck with Astrology. I am at Saturn Season Astrology on Instagram. Natalie is at Apaterno Astrology on Instagram. If you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, you can search for us by searching Let's Fuck with Astrology. If you do the Reddit thing, you can find us on the subreddit Let's Fuck with Astrology. And if you're interested in the star cards, go to letsfuckwithastrology.com/star-cards. Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all later.